Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to Let's Vibe. So, we are in Taurus season, um, and we're nearing, just in a couple days, we'll have the uh, Taurus new moon, and this also is a super moon, meaning that the moon is at its closest to Earth at the time of conjunction with the sun. Um, but this is a really powerful and significant new moon. And I've really been picking up a lot on the energies of Venus. And I've been feeling that for the last couple weeks, like just being drawn towards Venusian energies, crystals that embody a Venusian kind of energy. And just thinking about how right now, for the last few weeks at least, there's been a cluster of planets at the tail end of Pisces. And so, they call it a stellium when there's 3 or more planets within the same sign or within the same house. In this case, it's not just a stellium, it's a cluster, because there's 3 or there's more than 3 planets all bunched together within the same 10 degrees or 6 degrees of each other. They're all pretty close to each other, and that cluster is Venus, Mercury, Saturn, the North Node, and Neptune. So that's a lot of energy concentrated around the end of the final degrees of Pisces. And it's made me think about how Venus, the planet Venus in astrology, does really well in the sign of Pisces. And it makes me think of the birth of Venus story about Venus being born from the sea foam. And it also makes me think of that famous painting of Venus, the birth of Venus painting, where it's Venus standing in a seashell. And so the stone that I wanted to talk about is Hyalite Opal. And this stone, for me, this stone has really connected strongly with not only the energies of Venus, but Venus in Pisces. And so I'll show you, does that help? Yeah. So this is Hyalite Opal. As you can see, it's got this amorphous shape. It's botryoidal, it's got these globular formations, and it's transparent. It's a very clear form of opal. And it's just kind of like rising out of this matrix, the base. But I just feel like that's very significant in this Venus and Pisces energy is very significant, because it is like an energy of renewal of the heart, a rebirth. And that's basically what the final degrees of Pisces represent, is a death, because it's the very end of the zodiac. And then of course you come to 0 degrees of Aries, and that's the rebirth, that's the start of a brand new year. And what's really interesting is that, I'll get back to Hyalite, but the astrology is just really fascinating right now. Um, what's also really interesting is that Venus is conjunct with Neptune, but Neptune is at 1 degree of Aries. And so it's an out of sign conjunction. And I just find that really fascinating and really powerful, because Venus is in that death, the end of the zodiac space at the very end of Pisces. And at the same time, Neptune, which is considered the higher octave of Venus. Neptune is like the ascended version of Venus, where all of the Venusian qualities are raised to a higher level of consciousness. And so Venus and Neptune are like, they're like different forms of each other. And so it's really fascinating to see Venus at the very end of Pisces conjuncting Neptune at the very beginning of Aries. It's like, that's quite a strong symbol and energy and aspect of ending and beginning, death and rebirth as something higher, as, death and rebirth onto a higher level of consciousness, a higher level of awareness. Neptune. So I just found that very fascinating. And let's see. There's also some really powerful aspects with Uranus going on. I can't think of all of the major aspects of this new moon, but there are some really very powerful aspects happening. That's on the 27th, April 27th. So Hyalite Opal, coming back to this stone, this is really a stone that is wonderful for cleansing and also connecting with the energy of flow. And by flow, I'm really referring to a state of alignment with source energy. Abraham Hicks often talks about the vortex, your personal vortex, and being in alignment with your vortex. She also calls source energy your inner voice. So no matter which term you're using, flow is being in alignment with that source energy. And Hyalite Opal, with its very watery appearance, really assists us in coming into alignment with that flow, with that source vibration. But it is very, with its transparent quality, it's very cleansing. It's like fresh water. It's cleansing on a high vibrational level. I would say that this opal has pretty high vibration. So it just makes me think a lot about purification, and I don't know, I'm just thinking about, I think about Taurus. That's the other thing, is the new moon being in Taurus. That Taurus is ruled by Venus. So that is even more Venus energy in the mix. And that's what was really like grabbing my attention as I was looking at the current or the astrological chart for the new moon. It just, I was like just really amazed by how much Venus is highlighted in this new moon, and with it being the new moon, that's always about planting new seeds, rebirth, the start of something new. So I just felt like Hyalite Opal, even though this is a very watery kind of energy, I felt like this was really the perfect crystal for this new moon in Taurus, along with Venus being in Pisces and conjunct Neptune. It's like creation. This shape and the way that it's coming out of the matrix, it just makes me think of like something being formed, something being created, matter coming together to form something solid. I would recommend Hyalite Opal for anybody. I feel like this stone, with its clarity, its transparency, I feel like this stone could work with any kind of zodiac sign. Like, I don't think there's just one sign that resonates with this kind of opal, because we all have these signs in our charts, whether or not we have planets in those signs. Everybody has Taurus and Venus somewhere in their charts. But yeah, and the song that I keep getting for this stone, and I may have already assigned this song to a different stone, but I can't really remember, and I don't mind if two stones share the same song. But the song that I chose for this crystal is Mother's Daughter by Miley Cyrus. I guess I felt like drawn to that song because it's a very strong feminine power kind of song, like a divine feminine, or what was I gonna say? Well, yeah, it kind of dark feminine. Obviously this is not a stone that makes you think of anything dark, but still I just felt like that is an energy of Venus, very sensual, very strong-willed, and just knowing oneself. Yeah. Anyway, so I will include a link to Mother's Daughter by Miley Cyrus in the description box below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. I also love to see your comments as well. And as always, thank you so much for vibing with me.